Welcome to day 11 of 21 Days of Prosperity Coaching. Today's mantra is abundance. Okay, so you're going to be thinking abundance all day long, but let's go into it a little bit. What does abundance really mean? It means overflow, more than enough, right? And you may not feel that, especially in today's inflationary world. A lot of people are burning through savings in order to make ends meet. Um, a lot of people are spending 30%, 40%, 50% of their income on housing. So you may not feel like you have abundance in your life, but there is a way to get there. I know I didn't feel that way when I was a young single mom, and I did all of the things that I'm talking to you about in this prosperity coaching, found the solutions, employed them, and my life changed dramatically instantly because of that. Now, if this is really resonating with you and you're saying, "Oh my God, yeah, my life doesn't add up," then please read the Thrive Budget section of the ABCs of Money 5th edition. That's going to be really helpful for you. It absolutely changed my life. So I lived my way into the answers, and then I wrote the book on it. So that's going to be helpful for you. You definitely are going to need that. But how do you get to abundance from where you are right at this moment? So what I want you to do is this, is that we've talked a lot about how changing our mindset is going to be very essential, like seeing something clearly and then creating the pathway and then walking the pathway to, model it and make it all exactly the way that we want it to be. But we have to see it first. So how can you see abundance in your life if you're seeing scarcity? I'll tell you, there are tricks to this. Same thing with forgiveness. How can you see forgiveness when all you see is resentment? You take steps and you chip away at it, and you start. And in addition to chipping away at it in your brain, you find those completely, problem shattering solutions. A lot of the solutions that people say for budgeting, like, oh, you shouldn't spend so much money on coffee, you shouldn't spend so much money on avocado toast. Yes, you can save hundreds there, but if your problem is that you're spending 50% on housing, that's what we need to tackle, because that's going to shift. If you can change that, your life is going to shift. So how do we go back to that visioning of abundance? Because again, it's just like gratitude. It's not something that you can say, I'm going to think like an abundant person. It doesn't happen that way. But what you can do is you can start by leaning into what people that experience abundance do. So if you have more than enough of something, what do? Oftentimes you give it away, right? Like if you happen to have, I certainly have known people throughout, that have various fruit trees, and there's way too much fruit, hopefully, fingers crossed, in the harvest season, right? And unless you're a farmer and you're going to sell it, then, whenever somebody comes home, they go home with they go home with a bag of oranges. So what I want you to do today, and again, because maybe you're working or you have your daily life going on, maybe it's something that you have to plan today to do on the weekend or whatever, is I want you to think about something that you would like to improve in the world. And I would like for you to donate an hour of your time to that endeavor. So donate an hour of your time. Also, think about donating or how you donate to nonprofits. I'm going to share with you a little secret. Charity is the best networking. So a lot of people spend a lot of time and money on networking groups, especially if you're in a sales oriented position. But what I've found is that you get a lot closer and you can actually create projects with people through your charitable contributions. So every major shift in my life has come as a result of my charitable giving. So in the beginning, I was working with women in my son's school when he was very young, the silent auction, bringing in money for their music program, for their computers, and all of that. And those women ended up helping me launch Women's Investment Network. Then, as I was doing the financial literacy project, I became interested for my passion project in sustainability. And, now we have this Earth Gratitude project that, the King of England has contributed to, the Dalai Lama, Sia, a lot of major people have contributed to. So all of that came about as a result of my charitable giving. And again, it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to one day create the Earth Gratitude Project. It was more like, I'm really interested in sustainability, but I want to make sure that if I tell people about it, I've experienced it personally. I know it works. And, so I self-funded that. Now, another trick I'm going to tell you is this, is that you may say, look, my budget doesn't add up, so I'm not writing checks to charity, but it's still important that at least you donate an hour of your time. And by the way, it could be to a loved one, it could be to an elder that could use you coming over and cooking them a meal and sticking the leftovers in the freezer so they have them all the rest of the week. It could be visiting a loved one who's lonely, or friend who's lonely. So I just want you to consider what would really benefit a loved one, or whatever it is that you're most passionate about. And understand that time, talent, and money are all currency in the universal good. So giving of your time can be even more valuable than your money, especially if you have, a great skill set of some sort. My skill set when my son was young was I was really passionate about raising money. And so, people would bring me everywhere, write this grant, do so whatever it is that you feel like you can give to to enhance a project or a person, that's what you should be doing. And again, if you don't have time to do it today, think about that and set it up, make the appointment for a few days from now. We want to get to it right away. And again, this is another thing. Hopefully, you're journaling every single day, but this is definitely something that you are going to want to journal about: what it is that you did, why you did it, how you felt after you did it. And yeah. So, one last bit of information. Part of the reason that my experience in nonprofits and charity is so powerful is that rather than spreading myself across a lot of different ideas, a little bit everywhere, I concentrate on at least a 2-year project. I say, for the next 2 years, this is where my time, my talent, and my money's going to go. And that puts you in with the co-creators, the upper echelon of that organization. That's a different experience than just writing a check and not knowing where it's going. Like, I've actually, when I write a check, it's going to go exactly to do this. In the past, I've written checks and I said, make this go for scholarships for an underserved girl to go to college, or, so that's my 2 cents on it. A, time, talent, and money. B, focus, rather than spreading yourself too thin. And not it's not that you don't care when you spread yourself too thin, you care about too many things, right? But like, when you are focused, then not only do you care, but you also care to see what kind of impact your focus, your time, talent, and money is making. And you might even want to, through your talents, try to make that more efficient, more powerful, right? Okay. Abundance all day long today. And if it doesn't come to you right away, what it is that's your most powerful thing, then having that mantra of abundance. What is it that I can give from the overflow? Maybe it's that you take, you do have a harvest in your backyard, and you pull it together and you take it to some sort of shelter for abused women and families. I don't know. Whatever it is that's going to really matter to you, that's what you should do. All right, I'll see you tomorrow.